Good morning, Dad.
Hey.
We have gotten two questions recently. They're kind of weird too. They might sound weird to somebody else. They both have to do with kind of moldy, yucky stuff on the inside portion of their HVAC unit. So one person was saying that when they take out their air filter, they see all this moldy, cruddy stuff around it. And they also say that they've been dealing with some allergy issues and scratchy throat and stuff like that. A different person says that they have mold on their coil on the indoor unit, and they're also dealing with scratchy throats. And they were kind of commenting on a video that where we talk about UV lights. Two problems that are different yet similar, and we haven't really talked about this type of issue before. So I was wondering if you could tell people kind of what comes to your mind when I share that these people are having these issues, and
Yeah.
what would you recommend?
Well, it is that season. It's the summer season, and that's typically when humidities are on the rise, and that's part of the problem for this mold issue. You're going to want to make sure the air conditioner. That I think this one was in an apartment. I think you had
Yes,
said,
yes.
and so I'd involve the landlord.
Yeah.
I would call the apartment manager, but these things need to be cleaned up. They're a real health hazard. If someone were just cleaning it up on their own, you need to mix up a solution of 50-50 Clorox and water, something you can put on a sponge and literally wipe those surfaces down, clean up that mold. As far as the UV light, that's another treatment, and yes, the UV light will absolutely take care of that. You want to install it in such a way that the mold is exposed directly to the light, as far as not just in the same general area, but it has to see the light. But that will clean right up with the addition of a UV light. That's absolutely right. Sounds familiar. I can remember years ago you had the similar problem,
Yeah.
and it was a rental that you were staying in, this loft kind of place, and I can remember mixing up a solution spray in a spray bottle and using that to kind of flush over the coil. I kind of had to take things apart and
Yeah,
work
you
over a
took it
bucket.
out, which is not what we recommend other people do,
I
but
worked over a bucket and that kind
yeah.
of thing, But basically, that's what I did,
Yeah.
to clean it up. And it
And
certainly points out the fact that some people are very sensitive to this, and others not so much. But it's
well,
still
that's
an
what I
issue.
was going to say, because I remember speaking with the apartment people, and they were like, nobody else
Yeah,
has that problem. And
yeah.
but I remember after you came over and cleaned all the mold off of the coil, which is also something I never would have noticed. I never would have even, the coil
Hmm.
is kind of enclosed.
Right.
And
Sure.
you came over and you're like, well, this thing is covered in mold.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and it was a drastic difference on how I felt after you cleaned it out, where I
Mhm.
wasn't getting super tired all the time, and my headaches went away. It had a huge improvement on just how I felt in general.
It's quite interesting. We'll have homeowners that have sensitivities, and I learned early on years ago that these things really work. And I may not be personally as sensitive to it as they are, but I believe homeowners when they call me and tell me it's time to clean their filter, or change their micropower guard media or something like that, because it's for real and these things really impact people.
So basically, if somebody is seeing kind of moldy, sludgy stuff around the furnace compartment, would you say that as a homeowner, or so, like if you're just talking to me and I have no skills in HVAC whatsoever, if there's mold around like my filter compartment, could I kind of clean
Sure.
that?
Turn everything off, of
Okay.
course, shut everything down. A little bucket with, like I said, a Clorox water solution, a spray bottle with that same solution in it, where you can kind of just
Yeah.
spray a surface, kind of wipe it down, let it dry. You want to dilute it down. This is going to be circulating throughout the house, so we don't want to,
Yes.
have the odor of Clorox everywhere, but
Right.
dilute it down, which is fine. A little Clorox in the condensate drain while you're doing all this is also helpful, because that's kind of the source of it.
Okay.
But just flush all those things out.
Okay, but if we're dealing with mold on the coil
That's where the spray bottle actually works really well. Now, granted, you need to be semi-handy here, but
yeah.
if not, call a professional, because
Yeah.
we can make a difference.
Would you recommend a dehumidifier? Would that help in these situations or not
Well,
really?
another thing would be just have a technician look at the system to make sure it's operating properly. Sometimes this can be a problem that there's something wrong with the air conditioner, and we really aren't dehumidifying properly. You know, your air conditioner is a gigantic dehumidifier,
Right.
and that's part of the source of this mold growth. And so we want to maintain our humidity properly. And yes, the addition of a dehumidifier in certain instances is, yes, we're all treating the same thing there.
All right, cool, Deb. All right, well, thank you very much.
Okay, very good.
Okay, bye.